We're just over a little bit over a year since the last winter update that I made of this high tunnel. I think it was last February 12th. Today's the 14th. Happy Valentine's Day. My wife and I decided, as part of our celebration with each other and with the place that we live in, to spend some time being tender and loving in this space and get it more organized and ready for our spring goals. So I was going to take a moment and look over this space now that we've gone through and done a first pass of prepping it for spring and talk about some notes. So I'm looking at it here from the west end, and this is the third growing season I believe that we'll be having with it. Still not any issues, no wear and tear that I'm seeing or problems. The only thing we saw today in the process of cleaning up, there was one place, I don't know if I can even find it, where the greenhouse plastic got a little rip or two. So I'm going to invest in a spool of greenhouse repair tape just to nip those problems in the bud so they don't get bigger. And so the first order of business for us was to go through and on the northern side here we had rosemary, lavender, and a number of different perennials. Was to dig them up and heal them in groups, basically organize the remaining plant material that was in here, because what we're trying to do is get ready to actually do some serious seed starting relatively soon. And so rosemary, it's questionable. We had a very rough winter. It's questionable whether or not it'll perk up in a good way. There's some green in there, so we just have them healed in for now. We've got some sea buckthorn and some red buds in here that are healed in. These are the spinach and lettuces that were in the soil, actually in the garden beds, this whole winter, and they look beautiful. So we lifted them all and consolidated them into one container and banked soil around it, watered it thoroughly, and the idea is that hopefully soon enough things will thaw out outside. We can transplant them under low tunnels. You can see as far along as they are, that's what it actually looks like outside. So we are still midwinter. The door, it's cold enough out there I want to close the door. In here I was in a t-shirt about 10 minutes ago. About 55 degrees in here with the sun. It's really lovely. This container is very promising in that it's all Myoga ginger. I made an investment in this Zone 6 hardy perennial ginger family plant that died back in the fall, but has, I don't want to disturb them too much, I'll just give you a hint. There's about 60 or 70 of these that overwintered thus far beautifully. So I want to make sure that we keep them covered, and we'll put mulch on them if it's going to get really cold again. But I'm looking forward to being able to really ramp up Myoga hardy ginger, maybe even offer it through the nursery. That was an exciting win. The lavender I was able to get 20 divisions from. Even found a little pawpaw seedling in here and a persimmon seedling. Anyway, so these are all organized off to the side, and we went through and loosened. We didn't turn the soil. We didn't want to bring up fresh weed seeds, so we just really decompacted with a shovel and a hori and like hand massaging all throughout. Got it nice and smooth and level. The well in the corner is functioning. I just took a lot of water out of it, but there's water down there. I can dip in with a watering can, which is a nice passive way to water. So we got the soil fluffed up, loosened, smoothed, and pulled out all the material. We'll feed that to the chickens, and gave it a very deep initial soaking. And then this season we're going to trial a few different systems for doing double season extension. In my video last winter I talked about cold frames in a high tunnel, and from what I understood of it, a cold frame gives you about one zone season improvement. High tunnel will give you a second. So we're zone 5B, basically zone 6. This should get us to zone 7, maybe almost zone 8. So under this, we may very well be able to start seeds very soon. What I learned last year with these, where I set these up and we seeded them out right away, we got lots of ragweed and grass seeds coming up. There's still a latent seed load in here, so we wanted to prep this, water it thoroughly, get these cold frames settled to start really accumulating heat, wake up whatever weed seeds want to wake up, pull them carefully without disturbing and bringing up more, and then drill in our seeds. So within a week we want to be ready to seed out. And we're trying two different things. These are made out of white pine. I made a bunch of mason bee homes and bird houses this winter out of nice local white pine, and I had leftover greenhouse plastic from building my pallet shed, and so very simple 3 feet by 2 feet with 8-inch 1 by 8s for the north end and 1 by 4 for the south end, 1 by 6 and 1 by 8. So we'll see how those work. Right now they're a little heavy and cumbersome. These might be nicer out in the garden. What I'm leaning a little bit more towards is the same basic framing, but very simple, is this tempered storm window glass, which should not be, shouldn't shatter. These are easier to lift and also to vent. I can just put a rock on this side. So we'll see how that goes. If I sneeze, maybe not. If you hear me awkwardly pause, it's because I'm ready to sneeze. So we're leaning towards the tempered glass, also better light access. We'll wash that out thoroughly, and we'll do that down the line and then on this side as well. That's where we are right now, is basically first cleanup, first real organization, getting the soil fluffed and loved, watered down, and then trying to wake up latent weed seeds to get them erased so that we can get on to our crops. So mid-February, we should be ready to go by the end of February, which puts us in a good position to get lots of spring crops ready to go. And that is our $150 high tunnel entering into its 3rd year of being just a wonderful place to be on a day that looks like this outside. Being in a t-shirt in there is pretty nice. I see off to the west another break. As soon as the sun starts coming out again, this space will get up to about 60 degrees. So far it's been $50 per year to have this, since it was $150 and it's lasted 3. I suspect we'll get 6 to 8 years before the poly fades, and then who knows how many years, but that's it for now. We'll do another update when we've excuse me, honed in on the cold frames we want to use and we start getting seeds in and how that works out. Thanks for watching. I hope you're able to start waking up into your gardens this season.